Here's how I invested over 50 million naira with Keji Giwa, the CEO of Giwa Gardens in 2021. In 2022, I asked out of the project, and 3 years later, as at July 22nd, 2025, I still haven't received my capital nor the promised ROI. It all started in 2021. I was scrolling online when I saw a sponsored ad by Shortlet Homes, which was a company and a page managed by Keji Giwa at the time. It was an advert for floating apartments, and they were promising up to 40% ROI yearly. I messaged the Shortlet Homes, and then I asked for more information about the property, and then I was sent the brochure for the property, to which on the brochure it said project will be completed within 6 to 9 months. And then I was fine with it. I proceeded and told them, oh, I'll be making my payment. After a few weeks, I got a message from Emiliani, which was, I want to believe, my account manager that was assigned to me at the time. And then she told me if I would like to proceed with the project, which I did. And then the first week I made a payment for 7.5 million naira. The week after I made another payment for 7.5 million naira, and then the week after I made another payment for 5 million naira, which brings us to a total of 20 million naira, and brings my share percentage to over 2%. Right? So upon payment, I was added to a group, LPV and Giwa Gardens new buyers group. And then on the group, that was where we found out that there was actually no project in existence. We were supposed to fund it to come to life. I have no problem with that. At least you are trying to raise funds. Everybody says that you are trying to raise funds to make the money come to life, right? To make the project come to life. So upon the initial payment of 20 million, we had an issue after he said they were no longer going with the floating apartment, and then they were going to go for water park, because I was strongly against it, because I was like, I don't want to be a part of water park. But Keji Giwa is a salesman, is a sweet talker, he knows how to get you right. So I was like, okay, fine, let's go with the project and let's see what's going to happen, right? So few months down the line, when they started the construction of the water park, I logged into our portal, because we also had a portal, digitallandlord.ng, right? So I logged into my portal. I saw that my shares had reduced from the initial 2%, and then I messaged Emily to find out what was going on, and then she said, oh, there was going to be a meeting to that effect to make sure that everything was settled, right? And then in the meeting, he said, oh, there's been inflation, there's been this, there's been that. So my percentage reduced from about 2.4%. It came back to 1.38%. I was like, I don't want to own 1% in any company, because if anything were to go wrong, people with lesser shares will be the one to be sent out. And everybody wants to make money. Everybody is in this world to make generational wealth. Nobody is here to suffer, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I would like to up my investment, right? I didn't know it was just a scheme to make sure we kept pumping money into the project. That was pretty smart either way. But then after the meeting, the following week, I made a deposit of 10 million naira, and then another 10 million naira, and then another 500,000 naira, which brought the total payment to 40,500,000, right? And then everything was fine for some time, right? Still in that 2021. So come ending of 2021, that was when it came. They said, oh, they wanted to also launch another project, which was Lekki Party Villa, and that had a 1% share of 8,160,000. I was like, okay, for that one, I wouldn't want to go far. I would actually buy in for 1% of the project, which brings our total money to about 48,660,000 naira, right? So after the construction began and everything, KG was like, oh, they want to expand again. They need to get more land for Giwa Gardens land. So upon hearing that, he said, oh, we were to all investors were to loan 2 million naira, and then you would make sure we get our money back with interest on it, right? I was like, fine. I loaned 2 million naira. which brought total money to 50,660,000 naira. Right? So upon the total payments made back in 2022, we got a contract for the project. Yes, every single thing we did so far, there was no contract. But then when we got the contract and I saw the clauses that were in the contract, I was like, yo, I am not comfortable with this contract and I would like to ask out of the project, right? To which I did. I asked out and then they asked me to send an official email to their digital landlord email address, which I did. And then they said, oh, they would they will not process refunds until the completion of the project. I'm saying that's the same thing you said in the contract. Me, I want my money now, right? That is why I didn't sign your contract. I want my money now. I don't want to wait until completion of the project. Keji told me, see, even though I didn't sign the contract, I am legally binded by the contract. And I was like, you, when did that one start? Because at least before you got my money and things like that, you were the nicest person on it. You were someone I could come to and then you'd respond. But then after the whole saga, me asking for my money, you became distant. You became someone that I would have to run up to, like, bros, what's going on? There would be no response from your part, right? But then he said there's nothing you could do, like I should talk to his staff. So that passed. So back in 2023, I went to the park physically to visit the park, and then I also met KG at the site, right? I spoke with KG and then he said, oh, we should not worry, they were working on it and the project was supposed to launch that same year. Fine. I think they also launched that same year, but there was an injury, so they had to close and then they had to reopen in 2024. Okay, so come 2024, that was where things went south, where things began to go crazy, right? Because me on the other hand, I was beginning to lose my patience because I was like, bros, at least I need this money like this, but you keep postponing things like that. So I was like, okay. After the injury that happened in 2023, right? In 2024, they were about to launch. KG came back to the group. It was like, yo guys, I am ready to make this work for you, right? Just make sure you share the link, do this, do that. That was even when he started the reseller tickets, where he also brought other resellers on board, right? Even those ones, their money are still hanging in the project itself. So he brought resellers on board. After he brought resellers on board, he asked us to share the links, to which I did. If you were to go through the TikTok comment section, you would definitely see my comments there, sharing link, trying to make sure everything was fine. He said he had a target of 2.3 billion, but anywhere between 1 billion, we were good. And then got so good, we were able to hit the 1 billion target, even though he also had his own impact because he also partnered with other people. But then we were able to hit the target. Once we were able to hit the target, KG came back. He said there was no money, that all the money was used for expenses. I was like, from where to where? He said they spent 400 million naira on diesel within I think within the month of December, or from November to December. I was like, from where to where? He said they had a blown generator, something happens, that happened, tax people came. Before you knew it, 1 billion naira is gone. 1 billion naira gone. I was like, bros, is this a play? Is this joke? But then I was even still trying to be patient because everybody was trying to comment on the group. Like, okay, at least bros, tell us what is going on. Like, what do you mean by money is gone? There was no response for months. Okay. So back in 2025, I think January or February, that was then there was an incident from the resellers group, because I was also in the resellers group, which was raised to 5 billion group. So on the resellers group, one lady said she lost her daughter, and she reached out to Mr. KG that okay, she needed money. At least I don't even want interest, pay me my capital. I needed the money to take care of my daughter. Long story short, the daughter died, right? After the daughter died, She still came back. She was like, "Oh, bro, I need this money to actually bury the daughter. At least she's gone now." There was still no response from. So back in February of 2025, or when the incident happened where the woman lost her daughter, right? I was like, "Yo, enough is enough." So myself and other investors, we actually came together, and then when we came together, we were like, "You know what? Let's create another group." We created another group. We added other investors that have been asking for refunds. That will refund that people that has been owing since 2020, people that has been owing since 2019. And I'm like, if you're even owing people since 2019, when will it ever be my turn? Right? So once everybody got together, we began to take action. Okay, we messaged social media influencers, messaged a lot of people, messaged we wrote email to EFCC, wrote petition to human rights group and things like that. So we also messaged Fitch, and then KG, upon seeing this, he messaged me. He said, "Oh, bro, you know what? I'm ready to make this work for you. You just call off the action, right? So once you call off the action, I'll make sure that at least you get paid within the barest minimum time, right?" I was like, "Okay, fine. Let's call all the action off." Okay, so after we called all of the action off, KG returned money for what's it called? The GG land, which was for 2 million naira that we loaned. Like I said, no interest. He returned the 2 million naira. I was like, fine. At least my money with you is still remaining 48 million naira, 660,000. So after the whole refund that was made, KG ghosted again. After a few months, or yes, after a few months, when court called KG out, that was when KG made payment again to some people, right? That May passed, there has also been no response from KG and his team up until today. I've been trying to call him, I message him, I call, I message, I make sure. Okay, there was even a time I called, he declined. He said there was also a time he said he'll call me back. Till today, July 22nd, 2025, there has been no capital, there has been no refund, and there has been no response from Keji Giwa. So I just hope we can all learn from this and know that not all glitters are good, because they are on social media screaming. I mean, there was even a time this guy blocked me on Instagram because I asked for my money. He blocked me. I had to create another account. I was even begging on the account because I was like, okay, maybe the first one, maybe because I was asking for my money. This one, let me plead. I pleaded for my money. He still blocked me, right? So that is his norms. You ask for your money, he blocks you. There was also a time he removed me from the LPV new buyers group because I asked for my money. So that is the norms. He says, "Oh, bring your money, do this, do that." At the end of the day, you get blocked. So make sure you do not invest with KG Giwa.